Hi everyone, Julien here, nurse practitioner for Danesthetics Medical. This is our premium edition. So today we are giving you a live demo on how I treat and do measurements for the chin. Let's do it. Hi everyone, I just want to interrupt you for a brief moment here to talk about Jane app, which is sponsoring this video. Jane is an EMR documentation platform that I'm using in my clinic. And the main reasons why are because it's affordable, Canadian made, and it's PHIPA approved. Not only that, they have a great support team and it's an interesting, easy way for you to get started. A good example is go into Jane app, look up my clinic or any other clinic. My clinic is Danesthetics Medical Design, and you will have access to all of my chart templates. These are all templates that I've created, including consent forms, and they're made publicly available to all of you. So if you're new in this industry, or if you just want to spruce up your EMR and try something new, check it out. If you want to give it a try, here's a 1-month grace period using Danesthetics 1MO, and give them a whirl. Now back to the video. All right, so first off, I'm taking out my golden means calipers. The smaller end represents 1, the larger end is 1.618. The chin for feminine chin should be around the 1, which is the intercanthal distance. So measure the eyes first. That distance represents the 1, and that's usually going to be the width of a chin if you want to feminize a chin. Her chin is around there, so it's kind of perfect. I marked those two areas. If I flipped it around and I get the 1.618, that would usually be the width of the mouth, and that's how you would masculinize someone's chin, using those points. For her, we want to keep it feminine. So then you'll notice that I went to the side and I brought the straight edge to the chin and I brought it up to the lower lip. The chin should reach the lower lip on a more feminine chin, and it can reach the upper lip, which is usually projected by 2 more millimeters if you want to have a stronger chin, usually masculine chin. So for her, she had quite the distance. She still had about 1 centimeter. So for that reason, I'm probably going to need more than 1 syringe. For her, it's going to be probably about 1.5, maybe even 2 syringes. First of all, whenever I'm placing filler in the chin, I want you to feel the chin and see how tight it is. If it's really tight and when they're talking, they end up having a dimpling, then good luck putting filler in there. It's going to resist you and it feels like it's just going to flatten out. So by placing it with a cannula, usually what happens is, like, if you're going to start with a cannula, you're going to start on the outside. And if I go in and place some filler in there, usually it's going to go to the path of least resistance, where there's no resistance, which is over here. So you may notice that your filler may travel and you may end up getting a flatter chin. You're like, what happened here? The needle will prevent that, because the only way it's going to move anywhere is probably out. Or if you have a really tight chin, it can start flattening it, but the problem is going to be that they're going to have some bruising and maybe some pain in the future if they have a really resistant chin. So the trick for those candidates are, I assess, and if they have not much wiggle room in that chin and there's a lot of dimpling, I advise them, by the way, let's avoid resistance and let's get a better result with less product, and let's place some toxin here. So what I'll do is I'll place 3 units of Botox here or here, any type of neuromodulator that you want, and that's going to relax the chin. It's going to relax that muscle and it's not going to fight you. I have them come back in 2 weeks, then I will do the chin, and I'll still do it usually with a needle point. And the way that I do that is I place my needle point directly center, and then I'll go to each side to smooth everything out and round it out. So there's 2 ways of doing the needle approach, and I actually do both in this video. The first one is directly on. And whenever you're doing that, basically what you want to do is, obviously you're going to aspirate if you don't have an ultrasound machine. I usually use one just in case, but you're generally safe whenever you're directly on the bone. Your artery is going to be somewhere in between the skin and the bone, but it's extremely rare that it's going to be directly on the bone. So the way that I do it is I place the needle right to the bone, you aspirate, you hold for 10 seconds, and then you plunge. Now, when you're plunging, the trick is you want to help the filler out. You don't want to flatten it out. And how can you do that? I pinch the chin. And basically by pinching the chin, it's relieving a lot of the tension, and it helps relax the chin, and it helps the filler rise naturally. I don't know if you remember this, but in one of my videos I talked about it, and I kind of compare it to weight lifting or doing a bench press. If I'm doing a bench press and I'm getting a lot of resistance, the person who's spotting me, they don't need much. They just kind of like touch the bar and they lift it. Not even like 5 pounds of pressure, and I can lift that easily. And that's basically what you're doing by pinching the chin. Pinch the chin, put the product, and you're not going to have as much resistance, and the product's going to push out nice and naturally. So one way is to go directly underneath. The second way is from a drop technique. You take the chin, you place the needle from underneath, and you drop the chin onto the needle, and it goes to the place where it needs to. Then you can push from the sides, and what that's going to do is basically the same thing. Is there a benefit, or is there some type of change aesthetically from doing a drop technique versus here? No. So with her, I ended up placing a full syringe. I noticed that I didn't really have that full projection that I needed. I went from another route. I actually just did the drop technique, and I placed, I think, another 3/4 of a syringe, and it gave me enough to pretty much equal the lower lip. And after, when I'm done, basically what you'll want to do is you want to make sure that that chin is perfectly symmetrical. It's not lopsided to one side or the other. So I take a peek straight on, and I also go from the top. And if I think that it looks good, then we are laughing. And then after that, I'll go back to my measurement, make my straight edge. And if it looks great, great. Finally, when everything's done, I do just like a pressure point on each side. So I'm gonna hold it for 10 seconds, let it go. And if the color blanching goes away within 3 seconds, you're good. Same thing here, same thing there. Now, if I'm doing a more masculine chin, I don't really start in the middle because I want to place most of my product where it's needed. And most of the time for masculine chin, I want to widen the chin. So I'm going to place most of my boluses here and here. And that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to place maybe like a 0.5 to 0.75 of a bolus here, and then after that I'm going to finish it in the middle. And I want to make sure that it's nice and evenly projected. And when I'm doing the chin for a more masculine chin, I'm looking for that nice squaring. And for a more feminine chin, it's more of a tapering and rounding off. But just be careful, don't make it too pointy. No one likes a witch's chin. And that's it.